Hello again, YouTube. My name is Bree, and in today's video, I am finally trying out Roman Szmal watercolors. So, as you can see, I don't have that many to work with, but my dear friend Spofph recently sent me these 4 full pans. I've never used full pans, so I'm not used to saying it. So, 4 full pans of Roman Szmal watercolors, and she picked them pretty much based on they're pretty, and she thought I'd like them, so it really isn't meant to be a palette to use in isolation. However, since it's my first time trying these paints and I wanted to really play with them, I did my best to leave it at just these colors. I only, for this painting, added yellow ochre, and I made do with the rest, and honestly, I had so much fun painting this, and I'm already so in love with these paints that I can't wait for my low buy to end so I could fill up the rest of this palette with Roman Szmal paints. So I decided to include the swatching because the swatching was really interesting to me and I thought might be interesting to you, even though it's not that many colors, just because the way the paint flows is absolutely gorgeous. These paints move in a way I've only seen in Core, and I don't have a full palette of Core paints just because I've heard and I've seen things that I don't really like about their earth tones, and I like earth tones a lot. I think I can make a really nice palette with these, and I'm very excited about eventually doing that. But yeah, so these paints, like I said, are totally random. Spofph knows I love red, so she made sure to include Aquarius Red, which is the only single pigment paint in this little 4-paint set, and it's a gorgeous bright red. I cannot believe how pigmented these paints are. And if it looks used in the pan, that's because this particular one, the rest of them were fine, but that one for some reason decided to melt on the flight over. And yeah, it wasn't a big deal. It kind of came out like a taffy texture, and I was able to scrape it and put it back in its pan with a palette knife. So it wasn't a big deal. It just looks a little silly. But yeah, Aquarius Red is a single pigment red. I think it's PR 214, so I'm not sure it's one I've used before, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, it's stunning. It absolutely replaces the Pyrrole Reds I normally use in my palette. The others are just gorgeous mixes. The blue, the turquoise is ocean blue, and I think it really lives up to its name. It is a Phthalo Blue Red shade, PR 15-3. So generally I don't use Phthalo Blues because I just don't care for the staining aspect of it. But in this, I think it works amazingly. And it is mixed with a brown PBR 24. And so you get that subtle granulation from the brown with a little bit of color separation. So for the most part, it just looks like this gorgeous turquoise, but there's a little texture in there, and I think it's really pretty. Then the purple is Mineral Violet, and this one is PB29 or Ultramarine and PV19. So now you can kind of see, I didn't get a full shot with all of them. There's a full image at the end if you want to pause and look at all the colors, but this is a beautiful purple that separates. So in the more watered down version, it has a lot more pink in it, and it has the beautiful granulation of the ultramarine. Mineral Violet is the same mix as Daniel Smith's Imperial Purple, I believe. It might be Imperial Violet. And I do have that one, and I used to love it, but I basically haven't been using purples so much anymore. But this one is so much more stunning. It has such a deeper mass tone, and it's just so gorgeous. Like, I really prefer this over the Daniel Smith one quite a lot. And then the final is Shadow Gray, which actually includes a lot of the colors that we already talked about in other ones, PB29 and PV19, just like the Mineral Violet, and then PBR 7, which is a brown, and it makes that beautiful gray. And it has a bit of texture itself. So basically, these paints definitely have granulation, beautiful flow, great mass tones, such great saturation. I'm in love with them. And the mixes I got with the different colors kind of surprised me. So I was able to get some really beautiful, like the blue that you could kind of see at the bottom. It's gorgeous. So I was worried with all the different pigments and all the different granulation that I wouldn't be able to get some of these colors. But after doing the swatches, I was comfortable just only adding yellow ochre. And then otherwise only using these paints, and I had so much fun painting this piece. So I'm just sitting here gushing. I'm very excited, very excitable today. So yeah. So that palette off to the left, I haven't really been using because I put the 4 colors in for my How I Paint Skin with a Limited Palette video, and I haven't used them up yet, and it's just sitting there yucky, and it's bothering me. I don't want to clean it out without having used up the paints. So it's just been sitting on my desk making me sad and unmotivated. But yeah, I used up a little bit of the yellow ochre on this particular sketch. So making progress, slowly but surely. It's amazing how long watercolor paint lasts. Probably never ever finish these full pans. So that's okay. I don't know. Oh, maybe I should just paint larger. That would use up a lot more paint. But yeah, sorry. When I'm moving that palette, I'm just basically checking the color mixes underneath it to try to remember if I can get the color I'm looking for. So I didn't realize that would be annoying until I'm watching the playback. Yeah, so first of all, thank you so much, Spofph. I absolutely love these paints. I'm very excited about using them. I'm very excited to eventually get more, even though the last thing I really need is more paint. But gotta have a proper palette. Can't just have 4 random colors, right? That's a dangerous mindset, probably. So for this piece, I don't know why. I've just been really unmotivated lately and having a hard time getting stuff started. But I was looking for ideas, just kind of digging anywhere to try to find something to motivate me. And essentially I realized I haven't been drawing women much lately. And so I wanted to make sure I diversified a little bit. I say as I paint yet another white person. I promise I'm going to work on that soon. And yeah, otherwise I wanted to kind of go with warmer colors because I knew that this palette leaned warmer, and I really wanted to showcase those, especially that red, since that would be a lot of the basis for the skin tones. So for this, normally I mix yellow, red, and blue to get my base skin tone. In this case, I had yellow ochre, the Aquarius Red, and a little bit of the ocean blue. I didn't want to use too much just in case. And then I basically use combinations of the red, the purple, and a little bit of the blue for the shadows. And as this piece neared the end, I worked in more of the blue for some of those shadow shades. The blue, ocean blue, really does come out rather green on top of that yellow ochre base skin tone. So it was definitely didn't want to make her too green, but I think it worked out. I'm really happy with this. This was just a fun piece to do. It was something I did in maybe 2 hours. It was definitely sketchy. I definitely didn't overdo the hair. I just wanted to keep it simple and enjoy the process, try out the paints, get a feel for them. I also had my homework for Justin Donaldson's form and rendering class. That class is taking a bit more energy than I anticipated, and it's technical. So it's a great course so far, but it's a bit more technical than I expected. So in this case, I just wanted to do something loose and more flowy and throw away anything technical just to relax a little bit. So this was a nice break. Yeah, couldn't let it take out too much time because I had to get my homework done, and I'm not sure I fully completed that one for this week, but that's okay. I could always go back to the assignments later and put more into it because there is so much to take in with this particular course. And we're still in the fundamentals and I am flailing. That's okay. I'll learn a lot. So, yeah, don't really have too much to say. And this isn't a terribly long video, so maybe I'll just give a little update because I don't think I've really talked much about what's going on because there's not much going on. I've just been really tired lately, so I know that's mostly what I've been talking about in these videos. So I actually did find a bit of my attention span again, so I have been really enjoying reading lately. I mean, I love to read. I'm always reading, but I've been reading so slowly lately for me, just because I haven't been able to focus, and I kind of got that fixed. I've been really enjoying reading again, spending a lot of it, like when I sit down on the couch for 5 minutes instead of pulling up my phone and going on Discord or something, I just read instead. And between class and some of the TV shows, because like Stranger Things was came out last week, so I've been watching entirely too much TV for me, or videos, content. I've been, instead of casually watching YouTube videos or something, I've been reading more. So that makes me really happy. I'm going to butcher pronunciations because I read and I don't listen to things, so I don't know how to pronounce things. But I really liked, I read the second Discworld book, The Light Fantastic, and that one I actually still struggled with because there's no chapters, and somehow like it felt like I couldn't hit a stopping point that I was happy with. So I felt like I was constantly stumbling through that book. But the next one I read that I think fixed my like reading block was Piranesi. I'm not sure how that's pronounced, by Susanna Clark. And that was such a good book. I loved it so much. And then after that, Brandon Sanderson had a book called Aether of Night. And he never published it. He basically wrote this book and decided it wasn't good enough to be published and shelved it. But while paying attention to his Kickstarter stuff, people were talking about it during one of the live streams I did catch. And I found out that you could just go on one of his forums and request the book and get it for free. So I'm like, okay, free book. Apparently not that good. Oh well. And I picked it up, and it's like classic Sanderson, like 700 pages long, but it just flew for me. I didn't expect anything of it, and I actually rather enjoyed it. I mean, there was definitely some flaws like he talked about in the intro, but I really liked it. So that was a lot of fun. And now I just started Legends and Lattes by Travis Baltry, which is described as like a cozy, wholesome, high fantasy with low stakes. And it's basically kind of in a D&D type universe where this orc has decided she's done with fighting and she wants to settle down and open a coffee shop. And I just think that's such a like nice, it's what I need right now, is like nice, soothing, chill, wholesome material. So I'm really excited about that one. I picked it up recently on Kindle because it was like $3, and so far so good. So that's like where a lot of, between outside of class, outside of work, that's where I'm spending a lot of my time, is just reading, and I'm having a really good time with that. So I haven't been doing as much art of late, but I'm really happy with like what I have done, like this piece and my last one with my bird boy. I really like these. I had a lot of fun with them. I didn't stress about them too much, and the process was just really enjoyable, and I like the end result. And then I'm enjoying reading, so I'm in a good place right now. I'm just not creating that much art, and that's okay. I am also doing really well with my fitness stuff. So I mentioned a while ago, I don't know if I've talked about it since, that I was doing the Conqueror Challenge for the Lord of the Rings events, which is 5 virtual races, and you just kind of track however you want to track. So I'm doing steps and distance on my rollerblading, and I have completed 3 of the races now, and I'm on the 4th one, about halfway through. And I finally, like after 9 months of rollerblading, trying to rollerblade once a week, I finally got back up to where I used to be, at least on my long skate, which is 15 miles in one go. So I've been doing that. The last 2 Sundays I've hit 15, so I'm very excited about that too. Just ignore the fact that back in the day when I used to do that, I also rollerbladed midweek and worked out with weights 5 days a week. That's not important. We're not going to get back there. But I've gotten to the point where rollerblading isn't like something I'm forcing myself to do. I'm not making myself go out. I just look forward to it, and I just love, I mean, obviously it's tiring. 15 miles is a long time and a lot of work, but I love actually being out and rollerblading, even though it's hot out. I like seeing all the birds and just feeling the wind and the sense of accomplishment that comes with completing a good skate. So that's going really well for me too. So yeah, that's really all I have. That's my art update, my life update, and today's video. Once again, thank you, Spofph, so much for these paints. I love them so much, and I can't wait to do more with them. Hopefully in the next video, I will be doing poster color finally, because Rachel sent me some of those. And otherwise, I hope you're all doing really well, taking care of yourselves, and I hope to see you in a future video. Take care. Bye.